Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the post-game bounce. Despite my cheery attitude, there was not a very successful game played by the Memphis Grizzlies tonight as they lose 114 to 106 to the Detroit Pistons, extending a losing streak to 3 games. The Grizzlies fall to 3-5 on the season. The story is going to be, for the national media, as far as they're concerned, is Ja Morant played basketball.
Yeah.
He started tonight, and he
Yeah.
played 35 minutes. So that is the extent of what anybody else is going to talk about if you turn on ESPN or if you turn on, Fox or whatever, you listen to Blake Griffin for 5 minutes. But we're going to get much deeper than that. The Grizzlies just felt like they got bullied, and I was telling Kenny in the green room, Kenny, thank you for being here.
Of course.
First off, I was telling Kenny in the green room, guys, buddy, I don't really have a consensus thesis for tonight because
Right.
I went through the whole gamut of emotions. I thought Jalen Wells was the worst player in basketball. I thought Cedric Coward was hitting a rookie wall. I thought Ja just going to continue not making shots. I thought Jaren was passive. And then the fourth quarter came, and
Yeah.
dang it if they didn't get me excited. So, and then they get within, I think, 4,
Three.
6, or 3.
Yeah.
And then they end up losing by 8. And
Yeah.
Detroit did what good teams do, and they just put you
Shut the
away.
door. Yeah.
They just shut the door, cut
Yeah.
the water off. And so I guess my first thesis I wanted to do before I get into some stats and some counting numbers and get some thoughts on individual players
Okay.
is what I'm going to remember about this game, and kind of as I digest it, my first original thesis is we just played grown-up basketball, and that was a team that just pushed us around. It felt like they got everything that they wanted when they wanted to get it. They made everything difficult, and the Grizzlies just did not have their A game tonight. Shots weren't falling. It was just ugly for about 38 minutes. I'll say 38 minutes. Final 10 minutes we got a little spicy, but for 38 minutes it was pretty dark place in Grizzlies land. What'd you think?
Yeah. Real quick before we keep going, Drew, turn your mic up just a little bit. On
Okay.
your inputs because it's a
I will.
little bit low.
I appreciate you looking out for me. It's
Yeah.
also
It's also
nighttime, and so
9:37. Yeah.
I have maxed it out. I'm at 200, Mr. Stumblefield. Let me know if that's any better.
No, it's fine. You just have to. You're in a house of 5 kids and a pregnant wife,
Well,
and you have to be you have to talk like this,
yeah,
right?
I'm all the way up, and I'm
No, you're good.
talking full voice. I don't know what the difference is. I'll do better.
No, you're good.
So
No, I think you're right. Like I think shout out to the Grizzlies for continuing to fight in the fourth quarter. You do love to see kind of the pushback that they gave and obviously the minutes you saw out of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Cedric Coward, I think were pretty big in that fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, for the majority of the game that I saw, it definitely felt like there was an imposition of will by the Detroit Pistons, and the Grizzlies kind of just said acquiesce to it. Like, all right, cool,
yeah,
do what you want to do to us, and we're fine.
like here's what I said on the $2 Sports Show today. It's a show you can find every single day at 11 a.m. One of the many amazing shows, if I say so myself, on the Bluff City Media Network.
Right.
And what I kind of told Rusty is this is a bad time for what you're injecting into it drama-wise.
Yeah.
Because you played a one-off in Canada and then
Yeah.
played the second half of a back-to-back at home against a team that is just built to be tough.
Yeah.
And the Grizzlies, if they've been not anything this season, it's tough, and it
Yeah.
really irks me. And I think it's just maybe Grizzlies fans should just accept this at this point. Like, this is not a grit and grind team that we love so much. They are just not very tough at the moment. I think that went out the door when you let Steven Adams walk or traded Steven Adams. And so it's kind of a weird spot to be in tonight. Let's just get the monkey off the back about Ja Morant.
Yeah.
We've seen Ja Morant come back and be injected into a lineup for multiple different reasons, injuries, suspensions. This is a second suspension now. The one that I really harkened back to and I was hoping that we would get was that New Orleans game right off of the 25-game suspension 2 years ago, in which he had 35, I think, and hit the game-winning buzzer beater and just was the real alpha. You didn't get that tonight, but I wasn't really looking at the stats. The stats are more the same: extremely inefficient, not making shots. That's a whole other issue. I didn't really see anything demonstrative of Ja. It was kind of ho-hum, and I don't really know how I want to take that, whether I should be encouraged that it's business as usual or if I was wanting something really fiery. Do you have a take one way or the other?
Yeah, I mean, do you remember the game when I think it was last year when the whole hullabaloo happened with the gun celebration, and then the very next game it was the grenade celebration,
Right,
and
right.
kind of a response, and
Oh,
it
man,
felt
what
like
a
a
year.
big fu like
Right.
to the entirety of
We're
the
going to keep
NBA.
one-upping this until
Yeah,
we find the line. Yeah, I
right. Like
remember.
and it felt like there was just this, and even the energy in the FedEx Forum when that happened, it felt like you had it was Ja Morant and Memphis versus the world, right? And like I
Right.
think that is what Memphians love that. And Memphis Grizzlies fans, I think we thrive off of it's us versus everybody, right? Like what did
Yes,
Bino
absolutely.
was that Bino Udra who said that? He said it's Memphis versus everybody or something like that. Like I think that
Yeah,
was him for
it was
real.
a rallying cry for a little bit,
Yeah.
and you felt that a little bit tonight. I think Memphis fans, and I think that is what John Morant and Memphis share is
Yeah.
the you don't care about me. You didn't care about me until I was cool. If
Yeah.
stay on that side, that's the whole John Morant shtick. Unrecruited Murray State. Oh,
Right.
I've committed Murray State. Now Alabama wants to offer me. Screw you. I'm going to stick with my guys that love me from the get. Like that's a sentiment that's shared by the city of Memphis and John Morant, and you feel that when you get down. And when the Grizzlies started surging in the fourth quarter, there led by some Cam Spencer stuff, Jaren hit some threes.
Cedric Howard did some
Cedric
things.
Howard was incredible.
First dunk of the
You
season for
start
Ja.
the
Yeah.
fans that were there really turned it up, and you kind of felt it through the TV that you started to care. And I feel like it's a shame that that's not a given. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with this team right now.
Yeah.
Is that we're still like a vibes team, and I don't like that. I like it when it's good, but I don't like it when it's bad. It's the Heckle Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of it that just frustrates me. Like I just want it to be that way all the time. And they're adults. It's an 82-game season. I get it. What I'm asking, it's really hard to give me. But it just seemed in the first half, and I saw this in the comments, and you may be able to pull it from me. I'll misquote it, but it's basically it gives off you don't care. I know that's not the case. I don't want that to be the headline, but it just kind of seemed ho hum. And you went up against a team of Bulldogs. I mean, you can't go and line up across from Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham and give what is just a day at the office kind of attitude, and that's what you got.
Yeah, it feels like, and I think that what, and I don't like to talk about the history of the Memphis Grizzlies or anything like that, and
it's not applicable to this.
It's not applicable to this team. It's not applicable to 2025 in general, right? But you always hear those phrases like, back in the good old days, things like that, and that's real like old man get off my lawn type conversations. I think what endeared the grit and grind Grizz to Memphis so much was that it felt like that energy, the aggression, the chip on the shoulder was something that was built within, like that it came just natural, like that it was just natural to that team. And let's be frank about it. Like we like to talk tough as Memphis fans, like as Memphians, like this is what we are and what we're like. In terms of the sports related kind of stuff like that really didn't happen until that grit and grind team gave that to us, right? Like it was like they imparted that that toughness and that aggression and that I'm going to pick a fight, and we're the bulldogs, we're the bullies on the block, like we don't get messed with. And all of a sudden Memphis Grizzlies fans are like, yeah, well, that's right, we don't get bullied. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly who we are. We've always been that way. And it's like, okay, that may or may not be true, but it's become part of the DNA of our sports fandom and with the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think that is probably the most, like, I think, jarring thing for most Grizzlies fans is that this team does not feel like, these last couple of years does not feel like there is a built-in inner, like, toughness in that regard. I'm not talking about fighting people. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, but just a chip on the shoulder. Yeah, like just a chip on the shoulder, an aggression, putting your will and your force on somebody, and making the other team bend to that will. That is what we kind of grew accustomed to, and maybe that's just not this team, and that's that. I think that's kind of like a little bit shocking, a little bit,
Yeah, and I think that's an expectation we put on the current players based on the players that we loved first. It's your high school lover, and then you want, your next girlfriend to act like your last girlfriend, and that's just not fair.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like there were qualities in that you love, and so that's a big picture talk. We may save some more.
I want to say this. I'm being told you're wrong on that take. City's always been tough. Yes, you are absolutely right. I'm talking about sports fandom. I'm talking about, like, the way that the energy in which what we value in our sports teams, right? Like, that's what we like. That, I think, that grit and grind era team, like, kind of passed that along. Does that make sense? That grittiness, that toughness.
I'll
that's
be
what I'm
honest with
saying.
you, Kenny. I try to stay out of that conversation because I am not a Memphian. I've never been a Memphian.
Right. I got you.
I love and I respect that aspect of the Grizzlies, but what came first, the chicken or the egg? I try to.
It doesn't
matter.
Matter.
And leave
It doesn't matter
to Memphis folks. I do think that just from seeing the documentaries and knowing and loving TA and Zebo and Mark and just being at their retirements, it did seem like it was simpatico at that time. Well, who came first? I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But it is what the point and the parallels I was making was, that's something we loved about that team that this team doesn't have, and that's big picture stuff. Let's go back a little bit. Let's get into what happened tonight. I'm gonna go through just some counting stats here, some things that we were probably looking for today. Most pressing, in my opinion, if you were telling me what I was looking for in the box score, is how many minutes John Morant played. He played 35 minutes.
Right.
Check. I mean, that's what you want to see. Pre-game, they asked Tomas about Ja. I'm curious. We need to, if possible, I don't know if Parrish is at the game tonight. If we could get some clips later. Just sidebar. But I know that Tomas mentioned in the pregame, and he kind of stuck to his guns, which, listen, for better or for worse, I kind of appreciate that a man with a conviction about this. He was willing to hold Ja's feet to the fire. And then he just kind of explained his position. And I thought he was well said. You can agree or disagree, but he said that basically the methodology and the theory behind the minutes that Ja plays is carefully thought out and considered, and this is what we're going to do, more or less. I think that he's going to play Ja now. He's going to be more inclined to play Ja now at the upper limit of what he's comfortable with. If there's a range of minutes in which he's going to play John Morant, he's going to play on the upper limit now, and I think that's what you saw with 35. So just minutes-wise.
I've got that video if you want to see it. I just pulled it up off the internet if you want to see it. You want to hear his the talk that he gave?
Sure.
Let me grab it on here real quick, because I haven't heard it yet, and I'd like to hear it. So I'm doing this mainly for myself.
Okay, I think it's about a minute long.
Yeah, here we go.
I would say I have a lot of understanding for the players who say this. I think a lot of players have been conditioned throughout their career to play in longer stints and to go find that rhythm. And basketball, just like every other global team invasion sport, is evolving. and the demands on the intensity are higher and higher, and we are looking to also adapt to the times, and that's one of the things, and yeah, a lot of planning, a lot of feel goes into planning the sub patterns. I think what's often forgotten is the what comes out, the actual sub pattern. It's to optimize results in the short, medium, and long term. That is the only goal of the sub pattern, to find a competitive advantage from it. There's some, like, it's a good question to ask, because you could say, okay, what are you maybe not getting if you're getting intensity and pace being one of our key components to some of our, especially here in the early season, you might be sacrificing some, let's say, chemistry within the units, because they might play shorter times together, or it might be more substitutions in an NBA game that already has a lot of stops in it. So I understand the concerns, and we're after the best overall result, like I said, in the short, medium, and long term.
Yeah, I love what he's saying, right? Like,
He to me, I, he kind of, to me, it sounds like you're serving too many masters in that. Like,
yeah,
I don't really understand the short, medium, and long. Like, we're trying to find what. Okay, just say you find out what works best for the whole unit. I don't know if that means in the 4-minute spurts or the quarter spurts, or that means the weeks. You know, what's the long? I don't really know. Ultimately, like, you can do substitution patterns, you can do this and that and the other. Early in the season, you're going to probably get more guys. Again, you're missing Ty Jerome, you're missing Zach Edey, you're missing Brandon Clark, you're missing Scottie Pippen Jr., you're missing guys, and you're still trying to figure it out earlier
Yep.
in the season.
yeah,
But what you know is what's the known commodities that the Grizzlies have? It's John Jaren and probably KCP. Is you just kind of know what he is. You've got to put them in stone, and it don't have to say they got to play minute 12 to minute 4 in the first quarter, and then minute 8 to minute 0 in the second. Like, not that, but at the end of the game, you've got to get them to 35 minutes, 32 to 35 minutes. That's a non-negotiable for me. I don't really care how you look at it. It's really a non-negotiable. But anyways, Ja plays 35 minutes. He is struggling mightily, and from the field, he was 5 of 16. He was 0 of 4 from 3. He is the worst three-point shooter in the NBA by any player who's attempted at least 20 three-point attempts. And listen, we've always known Ja's struggles with that. He is not a good three-point shooter. He never has shot at league average three-point shooting. He's never been this bad, though. So when I try to think, did Ja forget how to shoot? No. What's different here? What you've got on this team are the whole starting lineup and bench unit. Nobody's hitting any shots. Nobody in the slightest is doing anything to defer any attention off of anybody but Ja Morant. Jaren is immediately doubled. Ja is not allowed to get into driving lanes. And if you look at this Pistons game, particularly in quarters 1 through 3, there was not an open shot hardly for anybody, much less Ja Morant.
Yep.
And that's the frustrating part, because you've got a chicken or the egg situation in which you kind of need to make shots to get more open shots, but every shot that when you start a game, they are letting you. Everything is just so tight. Ja can't get started because he can't get downhill. How many easy shots can you count that Ja Morant has had on the season? He had an alley-oop tonight. That one was pretty easy for him.
First dunk of the season.
It.
Yeah.
That's it. And listen, Jalen Wells was somebody that we were going to more or less count on. He was really good as a rookie, buddy. I don't know if it's because he is now on the card. He's now being planned for or whatever.
Yeah.
Been absolutely atrocious. Like, he's just been an absolute negative. He finished with 4 points on 14 field goal attempts. He was 0 of 7 from 3. He's just a vast nothing out there, and you just can't play him beside Ja if you can't shoot. Just that simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think as I'm looking at the field goal percentages, I mean, you're right. Like you've got starting five tonight's field goal percentages. Jaron obviously played well. He shot 57.1% from the floor, 4-7 from three for 57%. Uh, Jalen Wells, 14.3% field goal percentage, 2 of 14, 0 of 7 from the 3-point line. Jock Landale, 55.6, 5 for 9, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Contavious Caldwell Pope, 0 of 4, 0 of 3 from the 3-point line, so 0%.
Yeah,
And they talked
KCP is
about it.
just not KCP just not going to take shots that aren't open. That's
Right.
part of the reason why you like him, and you thought that John Morant could force feed him open threes. It's happened Ja's whole career.
Right.
But the problem is now Ja can't even get to driving lanes because
Yeah.
everybody's just helping off. Like you got to scratch each other's back here, and one side is just miserably failing and resulting in the other side failing.
Yeah, like that's one of the things that I noticed in the game, and they were talking about it with, I think Pete and Brevin were talking about it on the broadcast. They were talking apparently to Jalen before the game, and Jalen was talking about how much of an up and down season it's going to be for him because he has the ball in his hands a lot more than he did last year. That he was used to kind of just being a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. Well, the unfortunate part about it is that there's no a lot of those catch and shoot shots came off of Ja Morant or Desmond Bain forcing their will into the paint and then passing out, right? Like double teams in the paint and then passing out. The defense is at that point where it is just not. They are not trust. They don't have to. Jalen Wells isn't shooting well. Contavious isn't shooting well. Ja's definitely not shooting well, and so.
No.
There's just zero space out there and zero space for Ja Morant to get what he needs. Like they're literally saying, you can shoot whatever you want to shoot. We're not going to allow you to get past us, right? Like we're not going to allow you to utilize your speed and your burst. And I don't, other than just, hey, we got to figure out how we can get better shooters out there. I don't know how you fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just keep shooting, you know?
That's the thing. Is like I don't know what you do, because Ja's going to be continued to be guarded with everybody having the whole team. Rather, it's not just a Ja thing, but the whole team is going to be guarded with a foot in the paint every time.
Yeah.
Tonight, let me see. Paint points were incredibly lopsided tonight. As I'm pulling that up here, points in the paint 58-30. That's typically what
usually
Ja
flipped.
team,
It's usually flipped, right?
yeah. Fast break points you got outscored 18-13 on. The Grizzlies actually won the rebound margin by 6, but you lost the turnover margin by 20. As a team, the Grizzlies shot 40% from the field, 34% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. It's not good enough. It's just absolutely not good enough. I don't really know what you do because there's going to have to be somebody that steps up and makes threes. I think one thing that you can really try as soon as you want to, you can do it as soon as the next game, which I believe is on Wednesday. Inject Cedric Coward in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
He is the only one that is making threes tonight. He had 17 points in 31 minutes. He shot 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, and he's just not taking any bad shots. And so let him go and run with the starters, and maybe he can up from, let him have 9 3-point attempts a game. Like, I don't know. He's holding steady. I mean, he's a dang near 50% at 3-point shooting percentage 8 games into this season. I think you've got to do something because Wells isn't hitting and KCP's not hitting, and Jock Landale is. It seems like he's getting 3 attempts a game, and he's making at least 2 of them, but that doesn't feel sustainable. I want to shout out one more player, and then I want to go to the comments here. I want to know if anybody in the comments wants to talk about Ja. He is currently being talked to by the media. If everybody unanimously just wants to skip over this topic, we can talk about something else. I know there's probably some fatigue there. This is y'all's show. Y'all can do it, but I've got some stuff queued up here that we can fill some time with, or we can talk about happy things. Um, old Chuck Bass,
Yeah.
Charles Bassey.
Yeah.
Finally got some playing time today. First game that he got in, and it was the perfect game for him to get in. I did a pregame podcast with Pistons Talk podcast. Really cool, nice guy. Anthony runs that show, does it solo, which is wild to me. And so he got me on, and we previewed this Memphis game, and we talked about how the front court depth of, or I talked to him about the front court depth of the Grizzlies does not line up with what the Pistons offer with Beef Stew and with Jalen Duren, and we've got one center who's not athletic, that being our Aussie brethren. And to see Charles Bassey, Chuck Bass. I like Chuck Bass.
Chuck
Sounds
Bass
like
is
a guy
good.
that works on car parts or something. Chuck Bass totally entered into this game. He played in his first stint as a Grizzly, played 15 minutes and had 10 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a block. Only took 3 shots, and got 3 personal fouls in 15 minutes. I think that's what I want out of a backup center. Just go up and gobble up rebounds and foul people. I like it.
Sorry, I'm distracted by everybody's talking about the sound situation. Guys, there's really not a whole lot we can do about it right now. It's this coming through StreamYard. I don't know. They saying they hear me way too loud and they can't hear you at all. We're trying to fix it. We'll keep it moving.
Yeah, let me you take it and I'll disconnect and you do it and I'll reconnect.
Yeah, no, I really did like what I saw out of Charles Bassey. I think it was interesting Chuck Bass. It was interesting that he hadn't played. It was interesting that we hadn't seen him because especially with what he does, like, he provides, the rebounding and the energy and the block shots and those kinds of things. And I do think Jock Landale has been, I think, extremely serviceable for the Grizzlies early on this season. Does he have limitations to his game? Absolutely. Nobody brought him in. The Grizzlies didn't bring him in to be the starting center for this team. He is a good backup center, a guy who can come in, spot minutes. And I mean, tonight he had 30 minutes, I think, on the floor. And that's the one thing that I think it's so easy for us to take a look at like these first 8 games of the season and draw all these conclusions about, what the Grizzlies are and what this season is going to end up being. And I still think it's safe to say and fair to assume that the Grizzlies are missing 4 of their 10 rotation guys. And there are guys that are getting minutes right now, big minutes for this team that will not be getting big minutes for this team moving forward once the full rotation is back in play. Guys that are energy guys that are, have the ability to kind of, force their will on other people. I think Scottie Pippen Jr. is one of those guys. I think Brandon Clark. I think Zach Edey clearly is one of those guys. I think obviously Ty Jerome is a guy who is somebody that can do that. I just it's so easy for us to go, man, this team is going to suck. Yeah, this team. It's not going to be great if Jock Landale is the starting center for this team for the entire season. 100%. That's not what his role is. That's not what his game is. He's not suited for that. But I liked what I saw out of Charles Bassey. I think there's some things that he can do, like to service the Grizzlies and this season. And I think a lot of it is just providing energy. Like I think that they're just large minutes and stretches of games right now where you just feel like the Grizzlies are just out there just floating around, just kind of floating and just not really doing, like, there's just not a whole lot of energy and not a whole lot of effort and not a whole lot of fight and punch to what they're trying to do. When you play a team like Detroit, you have to punch.
Expose you.
Yes.
Yeah, I have made a conscious effort. I've talked about it on the $2 Sports Show, and I've tried to get Rusty on board with me as well. I'm done with the whole once we get healthy, looking forward to it. We've just been doing this for too long. At some point, we're all professionals. It is frustrating that we're always highlighting the guys that are on 2-ways or on like Exhibit 10s or hardship contracts and stuff like this. Like I mean, just at some point, I would like our superstars to be the guys we're talking about at the end of the game, and for positive reasons. It's just a little frustrating, and I think we're going to be fine. Listen, of the guys that are healthy right now, you probably need Zach Edey the most, but I think I'm most excited, and I think that Ty Jerome can add more to this team than what Zach
Yes.
Edey can, because the team has such an issue when the game slows down. Nobody on that team can score in the half court. Ty Jerome can. Ty Jerome can get to the foul line. He can make people miss. He can shoot well enough outside to where you have to respect the shot, and that opens up some driving potential for him. He does a good job getting to the free throw line. He's somebody that I think that the Grizzlies are going to end up having to count on later if we can't fix the shooting problems outside.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I do think that, one of the things that I think we struggle with as a fan base sometimes is assigning bad motives or bad intentions on people when they can't fulfill what what the role they're forced into, right? Like Jock Landale's not a bad
Buddy,
Jock
buddy,
Landale's
let me
what?
tell you something. I got crucified on this network for singing the praises of Jake LaRavia, who should have never been in that position last year. I just respected the guy who should have never played, and he played hard. You would kill for somebody that played as hard as Jake LaRavia right now.
Sure. Hindsight being 2020, yes, you're probably right. But I do think
Well,
that
don't blame me for being the only person on this network that's got some foresight.
oh please. Oh God. Yeah. Jake LaRavia not being on this team is the reason why the Grizzlies are struggling.
Listen, he'd be
Come on.
playing right now. Gigi Jackson is in South Haven.
Gigi Jackson hasn't touched the floor in like 7
Exactly.
games.
Exactly. I'm just saying, you could count on him to bring effort, which was all I wanted. It's all I cared about last year. The whole thing was snake bit. Why are we talking about this?
Good Lord, Jake LaRavia. Don't be that guy. Don't be the Jake LaRavia guy. You see
Talking
him put
about
up
12?
Yeah, you see him put up 2 games of good numbers for the Lakers when they had nobody
this
out
lo-
there and
This
stop it.
love did not start when he played for the Lakers and got 27. This love started when he was playing. It's starting for the Memphis Grizzlies
God.
because everybody was broken.
I think truthfully the only reason that he isn't on the team anymore is because he's the only one that had trade value at the end of the day. Right?
Well, the only reason he's not on the team right now is because he was late into the rotations last year because of an injury, and they had that decision that had to be made early in the season where they're going to pick up his contract, and they
Right.
declined it. And then I think they regretted it, but they didn't have a choice at that point. He
Yeah.
was expiring.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, I look at it's just my personal opinion on things is just we make these like broad, like I saw somebody in the comment section say the foundation of this house is broken, and I just disagree with that. Like I think it's we can sit here and say like, well, if it's John Jaren and something needs to change there. Like, are you saying the reason why the Grizzlies are struggling right now is because John Jaren are not pulling their weight? To some degree, I would say I would love to see John Jaren push their weight around more. I would love to see them get to where they need to be. But again, basketball is is an ultimate team sport, and you've got a lot of players on this team right now who they're struggling and finding their way in this new system that they're running in, not getting the shots that they normally get, not hitting the shots that they normally get, and it's just changing the dynamics of the floor. And I just think that there is once this injury situation, and I know you don't like to use that as an excuse, but it's a real part of it. Once your best players are back on the floor, I know, but once your best players are back on the floor, then things kind of tend to, like, I guess, settle for a team, right? Like you kind of become, this is what we're supposed to look like. And then I think you start making decisions on what is this house look like when you have your guys out there, like nobody's sitting here going, the Grizzlies are a broken franchise because Jock Landell is the best we have at the center position, or Jalen Wells is the best we have at the three. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but
Yeah, well, I think what was, if you just compare what the Pistons have done to build and what the Grizzlies done to build, they passed us. And I don't know that there was anything like the Pistons built through the draft. They got the number one pick. Cade Cunningham knocked it out of the park.
yeah,
They traded for Jalen Duren, who was just kind of a throwaway. I believe that was in the Quickly trade. No, that can't be right. That's not right. Anyways, and then they got Duncan Robinson in free agencies. Beef Stew was in the first round. Like, they've just kind of done a better job of scouting and drafting character, and which I think is which is wild. I think we're gonna have to put this on up here. Media snippets are coming out from the press conference. I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen. We'll talk about
okay,
it.
cool.
I haven't read it in its entirety yet. Here it is. It's from Drew Hill. Morant, when asked if he talked it out, apparently that is talking about with Tomas's comments. He did say pregame that he and Ja talked it out. We'll see. And Ja said, quote, "Y'all asked that question to him, huh? Y'all asked that question, so you already know the answer to that." He said, "Yeah." When asked if he feels everything has been resolved, he said no. When he asked if he feels the same joy as usual.
Well, yeah, they're losing a lot.
Yeah.
They're losing, and I mean, I don't think that they're losing games. They just lost a game. They just lost a tough game. Like, and he got suspended. Of course, he's not joyful. You know what I mean? Like that.
That's I don't really like that question. But at the
Yeah, I
same
don't
time,
either.
I think me and you do a good job of talking grown up stuff. As fathers with children and all that kind of stuff. I truly believe that the guy needs a distraction from basketball. Like, you've got to have.
He's had 3
you've
years
got
of distraction, Drew. He hasn't
no,
played 33
no.
games.
I'm talking about. There's got to be a separation between you as a person and you as a basketball player. Like, you've got to be able to turn it off. I feel like he lives in this, and I'm not saying that he's got to, come to the gym with a lunch pail as if he's clocking in for his 9 to 5, but there is way too much emotion in this, and if it was a little bit more business like, it wouldn't be the worst. Like, to come home, to go home, go play in the yard, and then just leave the basketball there. I feel like there's just so much dwelling on this kind of stuff. And yes, I don't think that anybody is, if you ask all 15 people in that locker room right now, they're probably all going to
They're
say
probably
they're not
all
at their
pissed.
peak happiness
Yes.
right now. That comes with a 3-game losing streak. It just, he just rarely says anything that makes me feel confident. And maybe that's a Drew issue, but you know what? This is my show tonight.
This is your show tonight. Listen, Carter, we know that we've apparently something's going on with the microphones on or the audio stuff on
You're
StreamYard.
hearing me, right?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. It said can't hear anything. Turn your volume up.
Yeah.
Turn your volume up.
You know what the old bumper sticker said? If I'm too loud, you're too old.
I don't necessarily like. I think that line of questioning is weird. I think that's a kind of a gotcha line of questioning, and especially when you're coming off of an emotional game where, look, like, Detroit is really good, and they're going to be probably a hosting playoff series at the end of the year in the Eastern Conference. They're a good team. And I feel like the Grizzlies, I loved what I saw out of Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight. I thought he played very well. I thought he got his shots in really good places. I felt like he was aggressive when he needed to be. I was very impressed with what I saw out of Cedric Howard in the second half. I think that kid is somebody that you can already 7 games, 8 games into this season put a lot of trust in. I think
Yeah,
he provides. I wrote down in the second quarter or in the third quarter, Cedric Coward is instant energy, and when you have a team that feels like it's slodging around in mud on offense and slodging around in mud on defense, he is absolutely somebody that you inject into the lineup and play as many minutes as you can possibly play him for his energy, because he doesn't um it is on go every time he's out there. And
yeah.
I
It's
loved what I saw out of him.
it's one thing that is just totally impossible to measure if you look at stats. But I was, it was fun talking to the Pistons podcast because he was like, I just got to go and hit the high points and talk about what it was immediately. And something you saw immediately, and this is something I've never seen from a rookie before on a team with vets, is that immediately he walked in there and the vets turned it up a notch. Like
Yeah.
it's just something that's so wild that a rookie has that much sway, and that's what happens when you just play hard. It's one of the things like Vince Williams. Things get chaotic when Vince Williams is in the game, and it's not necessarily because he's doing anything right. Like he had
Right.
2 points tonight, but something
Yeah.
just happens when
Yeah.
he's not just an absolute Tasmanian devil. Last year he was just throwing the ball out of bounds, like he couldn't dribble, pass, or shoot. He was just a complete negative. But if you could not be just a complete negative, Vince Williams just injects some sort of life into that.
Yeah.
Omax did that in the game against Toronto when we made a run at it at the end again. It's just there's just a life there, and it's the frustrating part. I'm thankful for those guys, but man, what would this team be if like your superstars could be the one that brought the energy? You know?
Because we've seen it. We've seen it throughout the years. I think we've seen the energy that Ja brings to the table. Obviously, we've seen the energy that Jaren brings to the table. It's just not there right now, and I wonder, like again, like I said earlier, until they are back to their full health, the rotations are in the right spot, the right players are playing at the right times, then I think this is going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
I
It's
suspect.
just always been a vibes thing. I've always loved the vibes. In 22-23 season,
Yeah.
we had Steve-O and Kyle Anderson and Melton and Tyus, and you had the post-game mobs. That was vibes. Those were sustainable. They were
Yeah.
good. They played good. They danced into the arena like they knew they were going to win, like it was freaking Remember the Titans. And you had that in 2023. You seem to be still dependent on vibes, but you can't generate them yourselves. You need to see something good happen. If something good happens, then the vibes pick up and you can play good until something bad happens, and then you just can't pick it back up again. It's you shouldn't be playing the way you play and your attitude on the court is just strictly on vibes, and that's just the great coaches. Nick Saban is famous for saying process over results. That's what professionals do, and I feel like we let results dictate process way too much.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm seeing
So,
people in the comment section saying we should trade Ja and Jaren.
yeah, let's devote the rest of the show to some comments. It takes a lot of effort. We do this post game show 82 games a year. This is not just me and Kenny, but the Bluff City Media and the fans are always in here for 82 games, putting in their time, just their mental capacities, and they're in the comments. Let's give them a nod. We're gonna go 10, 15 more minutes. Give me some. Feed me some comments. If y'all have any questions, feel free, and we'll try to. Kenny, let's try to move quickly through this so we can get through a lot of them. Cool?
I'm so tired of drama. Ja, national media never talks about the Grizzlies until now. Who gives a shit? Sorry, Drew. I don't mean to cuss. Now it's, the Grizzlies got to trade Ja and move out of Memphis. Makes me rage, bro. Not playing with joy. WTF.
Well, it's not the only time they talk about Ja. The truth is that they always talk about Ja. It's just you don't have anything positive to say right now. Ja was the darling the first 3 years of his career. You got talking about, even Kendrick Perkins claims that he discovered Ja. Like he's national media. He discovered Ja. So the Memphis Grizzlies were the next thing. Ja Morant was the shoe-in face of the NBA for that stupid conversation everybody wants to have. The problem is things went left and they haven't went back right. And so no, I don't buy that the national media. I don't think the national media is inclined to like root for the Grizzlies, but they want to talk about Ja. Ja's not giving anything good to talk about. I guarantee you, if he had posterized Jalen Duren tonight, he would have been #1 on SportsCenter, and it would have been popping up on everybody's phone. Ja Morant, electric dunk. Just don't have anything good to say.
Yeah.
Next.
So there is. I just want to introduce you to somebody.
Sure. I love meeting people.
Yeah. I would love to know who this person is. I think this might be Tomas Isolo's brother. Potentially, or it could actually be Tomas Isolo in the comment section. We do know that he watches the show and listens to Drew Gann when Drew Gann talks about basketball. But Michael, it's Michael Angelo 2316, and he or she, I don't know exactly, is very fond of Tomas Isolo, which I am too. I like Tomas. I think Tomas is going to be a great coach. But apparently, Tomas Isolo has invented a new way of coaching basketball that no other coach in the history of coaching basketball has ever thought about before. And so there is new, fresh way of doing things, and Tomas Isolo is on the cutting edge of that. So just so we're clear, we're building a dynasty now. With these players and Tomas' system, this is happening. Now, this is the tamest of the things that have been said. But let me see.
I wish you could search by handle.
Yeah, I wish I could search by handle. I actually really do appreciate. I really do appreciate Michelangelo. I'm kind of poking fun, but it's hilarious. The comment sections are hilarious in our shows. Here it is. This is the big one. Tomas thinks more and deeper about these things than all fans and media combined. Dude is a genius. Let him work. We are early in the process with no players.
Okay. So let's just kind of crack that one line at a time, I guess. Can you put it back up?
Yep. Sorry.
Tomas Isolo may be a genius. I don't know. I've always just kind of said that coaches are secondary to players, period. If you're going to win a game, you've got to do whatever it takes to get Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. to have success. That's the key. If Tomas is a genius, he can figure that out. I don't necessarily think that any coach walks into an NBA franchise, looks at players of the capabilities of Ja and Jaren and say, you're running it my way and we will have success. That's really not, in my opinion, how it's done. We are not early in the process. I guess we're early in his tenure, but we're not early in the process. We kind of know what Ja and Jaren are. So I hope Michelangelo's right. I truly do. I hope that T.I. in his calculations, he went through the preseason when this is just data collection. Maybe the data collection through the first 8 games results in a way to maximize Ja and Jaren, but I don't really blame Tomas for Ja and Jaren's struggles.
I really hope I am willing to admit that I am uninformed when it comes to Tomas Isolo's system with Euro ball, the Euro League, things like that. I don't know. Only thing I know is from the some of the video clips that are out there and things like that. So I am willing to admit that I might be uninformed about the genius that is Tomas Isolo.
Michelangelo, the painter and sculptor, was from Italy, where we went and got Tomas Isolo. So maybe it's a brother. This is the kind of knowledge that I've got. I watch Jeopardy every day. I'm one of the only 30-year-olds in the world, I'd almost guarantee it, that records Jeopardy. So.
You are a nerd. You're the biggest nerd I know. All right, let me ask you this. Jeff Samsel asked a question, and I wanted to get your thoughts. So if you're coach, what players are you rolling with? Can we even field a competitive lineup right now?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can field a competitive lineup. I'm not out on John Jaron. It's just as simple as that. I will continue to bet on a team that's got these guys, and Ja is slumping from the field. How many times John Morant is a career 50% from the field guy? You've got
Come
to
on.
figure out the pieces around him.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, what lineup are you rolling with? I'm replacing Jalen Wells with Cedric Howard,
Yep.
and I'm getting Cedric Howard in the lineup. I will listen to anybody's different variations of that. If you want to, take out, um, if you want to take out our Australian brethren and go with like a four wings and then John and Jaron, like, or three wings and then John Jaron, like, okay, fine, we'll let that go.
Let me ask you this:
I
would you
don't think
go?
that Jock Landale is necessarily the problem. He's playing
No,
hard.
no.
Rusty's kind of out on Jock, not out on Jock Landale, but I think he's kind of perturbed with Jock Landale. I don't think Jock Landale's a problem at all. He's
I don't
not
either.
a starting center in this league, but he is on this team, and he's not holding us back. You know,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Rusty went a little he went a little uh crazy on Jock Landale this weekend. And I think Jock Landale has his limitations, but I don't think he's the reason why the Grizzlies are losing these games.
Listen, any team that's going to start Jock Landale as their starting five is going to have some center depth. I mean, he's just a backup center in this league, and you'll probably think a lot differently about Jock Landale once Zach Edey comes back. I'm not going to spend my time and effort dissecting Jock Landale's stat lines. I think he's been fine.
He's been fine, yeah.
I don't really know what you expect.
All right, so Art and I connect a lot on lineups, and I like this lineup just to try something new, just to inject some energy into it. What do you think about for until Edey comes back, a Ja, KCP, Coward, Santi, Jaron lineup?
Again, I'll listen to any variation of that. That would be the second lineup that I would, either of that lineup or take out Santi, put in Jock. Like, I'm good with either of them. Like, just roll it out there and see which one works better. Go with it. I worry about toughness when it comes to a lineup that's got Jaron and Santi in it. I mean, that lineup where you put Beef Stew and Jalen Duren on them, they're probably just going to be in a pretzel before halftime.
But how many teams are you playing against Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart?
I agree, but this is the Grizzlies Pistons postgame show.
Got you.
So,
shout out.
But yeah, listen. What I'm trying to solve with a lineup change is not the center position. It's getting Cedric Howard in there. I don't care what you do to do
exactly.
Get him in the lineup. He's the only one on this team that is shooting from three at an incredible clip. But I would take decent. And he's bringing energy, like, absolutely. He needs to be in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's a question. You want to answer this one in one word?
No.
Thank you. Next. Do I want to trade Jemison? That guy's from Birmingham. It's Jared.
Oh, it's Jared. Yeah, we don't talk to that. We don't listen. Yeah, we don't.
Pig.
Yeah, Woo Pig Zooey. He's an Arkansas fan. Yeah. Let me think. Part-time. Yeah, it is sometimes Mississippi State, sometimes Arkansas. You never really know. Depends.
The worst.
Brian James says, I think Ja looks around and sees Bane gone, Dylan gone, Slow-Mo gone, Steve-O gone, Melton gone, Tyus gone. And what do we have to show for it? A bunch of guys who can't shoot.
Spot the lie. I mean,
let's go watch Slow-Mo and Melton play.
I get it.
Where are they playing right now?
But when Ja talks about joy, like, I think that's probably got a lot to do with it. He looks back and says those were the good times. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and they have never figured out what to do with the center position since Steve-O's gone. Steve-O was his backer. You still are not kind of figuring out solidified roles that those guys vacated. They're washed now, but it took how long to fill a role that was vacated by Slow-Mo? Like, maybe Cedric Howard's the one. Like, you've still never had a decent wing. Like, just you went Zaire Williams and Jake LaRavia, and I don't know. That team was so much fun, and I no doubt John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. look at that and just be like, I miss those guys. And on top of that, Jalen Wells couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat right now. I
Um,
I, I
did you
wonder
see one?
about this, Mr. Pookie 101. It's
Great
hard
name.
when you just look grumpy to not go to lengths like this. But this is y'all's show, so I'll put you up there and gonna say that I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks gets scapegoated a lot. Now he's become a martyr, and I 100% disagree with it. Like I do believe that they were probably emotional when they decided to not re-sign him. But let's not forget what happened to get us to the point of emotion in which nobody wanted Dylan Brooks on this team anymore. He shot like 3 of 30 in a playoff series against the Golden State Warriors,
Yeah, bro. He
in
lost us
which
the
we
playoff
lost.
series. Like,
He
come on.
lost us the playoff series, and he took out a player with one of the most egregious fouls that I've ever seen.
We
So
I
let's
do love
he earned it.
we make fun of the national media for them when players leave the Grizzlies and all of a sudden they become, the what's his name? Uh, Desmond Bain is now the greatest shooting guard in the NBA with Orlando, and um
He was on that list of worst 3-point shooters with 20 attempts on the season. He was on the list.
yeah. And then what's his name? The guy, the center from that went to Indiana. Jay Huff.
Jay Huff.
Jay Huff all of a sudden became a prize free agent to Indiana to replace your boy Miles Turner. I love, like, but I think Grizzlies fans fall into that trap too, where that whole list of guys, it's like all those guys like did not really impact winning in a real way. And
Yeah.
when they were with the Grizzlies, but now they're gone and we're like, oh, we just miss them. Come on, man. Like,
You
these
can't
things
name
change.
you can't name one single Grizzly in the last let's just say in the Grizz next gen since Jaren was drafted. And we're not talking about Mike Conley. Since Jaw's rookie season, because Mike Conley would fit into this situation, that the Grizzlies have let walked or traded that you would want back in their current capabilities right now.
Right.
Like
Including
Kyle
Tyus
was
Jones.
washed. Melt can't stay healthy. Tyus Jones, I mean, he is washed. Steven Adams, he's probably the one you could make a case for. Roddy's out of the league. Laravia, we make jokes about him, and he's my pet, But like, you wouldn't. I mean, he is what he is. He should play football in shoulder pads, but you just he's not a slam dunk. I don't think he's a better player for the Lakers than he was with us. Like, just they've done a good job of either getting the most out of the players that are with us or getting off of them at the right time. You're not bringing in anybody capable to fill their shoes plus some.
We talk about, I think the big name that everybody talks about all the time is Steven Adams, right? Jalen said Big Steve. We miss Big Steve. Art says, go look it up. Adams helped John offense and helped Jaren be the DPOY. I legitimately think, like, wait until Zach Edey comes back. Like, I think that the center of the future is on this team already. He's just got a messed up ankle right now, and he's coming back. Like, he's already the ramp up has started, right?
Yeah, and a little ahead of schedule, I think.
Yeah.
Depending on how quickly they roll him out. Yes, he is the center of the future. You spent the 9th pick on him. You got rid of all other alternatives. Zach Edey's your guy, and so I think that he's going to be really good. I think he's got an attitude that I love to have.
Yes.
If there's one guy that's willing to fight somebody, it's Zach Edey. I like that out of Zach Edey. It's my favorite aspect of Zach Edey, if I'm being honest with you. I have my questions with Zach Edey, but I do not have regular season questions. I have questions if he's going to get the Gobert treatment and just get put in every single pick and roll when you play somebody 7 games in a row and he can't stay on the court. That's my You
We'll
know,
see.
and he'll just have to prove me wrong one day, and I hope he does.
Well, I mean, we saw him block Stephen Curry on a pick and roll to the basket with Steph going to the basket in the playoffs, in the play-in game last year. So shout out to Zach Edey.
Y'all got it. Grizzlies fans just gotta let Dylan go. Like,
Yeah, man, we gotta let this stuff go.
he cost us a playoff series in which it was our best team ever in this era, and he cost us a playoff series by taking out Gary Payton and then shooting us out of the game. Like, he was dead to me then, and I wouldn't be an honest man if I changed my mind 3 years after the fact and said, "Oh, you know what? He got screwed." Like, no, he did the screwing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We've been going for an hour, Kenny.
Let's get out of here.
A little bit about just about everything. I would like to we've had about 700, almost 800 interactions. People stop by the stream. I would like to do a shameless plug. It would be shameless if I had any shame. I don't, so it's just a plug.
Just a plug.
Bluff City Media is an incredible media company. I am very fortunate to be a small part of, and we have 3 live shows every single day of the week at 7:30 with the Daily Grind. Luke Hatmaker, get your coffee, sit down. It's the most lighthearted show we have.
You want to talk about injecting energy? You want to talk about injecting energy?
Can we put Luke Hatmaker on the sidelines?
We should.
He's at 7:30 every day. Me and Rusty do the $2 Sports Show every day at 11 a.m. for your lunchtime. And then as you're trying to stave off that lunch nap at 1 o'clock, turn on Anthony Sane for the Anthony Sane Show every single day at 1 o'clock. We've got No Bluffing. They recorded tonight. They'll push. It's on YouTube now. We've got Brevin Knight, former NBA player, and Rob Fisher, sideline reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies. They've got a show. Everybody's got a show, and they're all amazing. They're on Bluff City Media's network. Check them out. And you know what's crazy, Mr. Pookie? Just to derail this, I looked at the comment section. I can't do that when I'm trying to wrap a show down.
Right.
The Grizzlies do not have to tank. That's the beauty of this. They do not have to tank. The Suns are going to do it for us. The Wizards are going to do it for us. And you can still you fight and claw your way through a miserable season and try to win every single game you can. In worst case scenario, you fall a little short, and you could still have 3 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the top 5. It's just an incredible way to look at this season.
Do you think, this is my final question for you. Are you expecting this season to be a season of every night we come on and have this kind of conversation? Or are you expecting there to be a, once all the main rotation guys are back in service, back in play, that it'll be a turnaround. There'll be a turnaround in this season. Where are you at right now?
I think that this team is capable of going on a run in this season. Yep. I don't know that this team is capable, as I see it right now, of going and for the rest of the season winning 3 out of 5 games. Like, I think you're going to hover around 500 all year. You're going to go on a stretch there, but there's just once again, this team is kind of relying on folks to take a step that we've yet to see. I'm looking at, like, Jalen Wells. Cedric Howard's great, but we're still just, like, for us to be the 2 seed in the West, he's got to be amazing. Mm-hmm. KCP is being asked to do more than he should. You know, you need Zach Edey to be awesome. You just need so many people to be awesome. Right now, and with John Jaren, anything's possible, but there's just too many what ifs. I think this team's going to give us a lot of really fun games. I think this team's going to give us some really good runs, some streaks, but I have a hard time thinking that we're going to be competing for a top 4 seed in the West. Like, I don't think
that's fair.
We're going to be really competing for a home court playoff game, but I still think that this team is. I said between 5 and 8 in the standings, you know, somewhere around the play-in coming to it. And hopefully it's the 5 seed and not the 8 seed. But I think it's somewhere around there. There's just too many questions that need to be answered.
Hmm.
But there's just it's the problem. I was talking with the guy with Anthony with Pistons Talk. He asked me the same question, like, "What's your outlook?" It's like, listen, I don't know. I truly don't know what the ceiling is, but I feel like the floor is a play-in team. I just think you've got John, Jerry in there, and if that's all that pans out, this is a top half of the play-in team. If something good happens, you can sustain it, figure it out. The ceiling is indeterminate. But if we are still a year or two away, if we're counting on the rest of this core to be Zach Edey and Cedric Coward and Jalen Wells, like it's just something that you've got to learn. You've got to kind of pay your dues, in my opinion.
Cool. I like it. I think that is a fair assessment. I think it's okay to be frustrated when you see things that you don't like about the games and what the team is doing, but I also think it is fair to say, hey man, this is a process.
And I will give, if they told me to give a pep talk to the Grizzlies, I would tell the same thing to the Grizzlies that I would tell my children, and I have told my children many times. I don't care necessarily how many you win, but you cannot quit. You've got to go out there and give it 100%. And I think that is the crux of my frustration. Is like, listen, if you go out and it ain't good enough, there's no shame in that. There's been times where the Grizzlies have played 30 people in a season. And you just fought and scratched and clawed, and Avery Bradley and what was the guy's name that just kept DeLon Wright just kept getting triple double. Like, who are these people? What number are they? You're having to pull out the team magazine. Who is it? But every day they fought hard, and you were rewarded in the end by the basketball gods with the number 2 pick, and you got John Morant. And I truly believe that is because you gave it everything when everybody else told you to just quit. And so I don't necessarily – I want to win. I do want to win. I want to break through. I want to get up there. But dang it, you're losing and you're not playing hard. It just does. I just don't. It's not right in my soul. Like,
I got you.
Go out there and just give it everything. And if you lose, fine. I can sleep at night. But don't quit getting punked.
Yeah. Michelangelo asked, deep playoff run this year, championship next year. Why settle for less? Because we're Grizzlies fans. We have scar tissue. We set through the Hakeem Warwick era of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah,
and
I did not sit through the Hakeem Warwick era. I was later jumping on the bandwagon than that. But listen, yeah, I have no problem with optimism. I just kind of my shtick and the way I look at things. I try to be fair and balanced and give my honest opinion. And I feel like anybody who walks into a season saying this is our year, that's how you end up a Tennessee football fan. You know, it's every year's feeling like 98
or a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. Maybe it's this is how I feel like you can do it, and this is probably why it won't happen. But you know, we're gonna go through it together, and you don't have to be mad if you don't win a championship every year. But that's the dream.
Exactly. Hasheem Thabit. We sat through the Hasheem Thabit era. Was
it Hakeem Warwick that Jerry West rage picked, and like he didn't even really know what school he went to? Was that the Hakeem Warwick pick?
I don't know about that. I know Hakeem Warwick was the Syracuse guy, so I don't know exactly. But
I want to say the story is he walked in there and after the draft, and he was like, "Yeah, we got Hakeem Warwick who went to Clemson or whatever." Like, he didn't even know like St. John's or like I don't remember what it was. He had no idea where Hakeem Warwick went to college. He just he went on tilt. Whoever he wanted got drafted, and he was just like, next guy on the board, whatever.
Was that before or after the conversation he had with Kobe about not coming to Memphis and staying in LA? That BS conversation that keeps getting pushed out there. Like he actually told Kobe Bryant to not become
was that ever confirmed?
No, it's a lie. Yeah, he said it, but it's not true.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen, and I appreciate that. I came in on the East LA bandwagon, fresh energy, bro. I love your energy. I love it. I will feed off of your energy. Like we have skeptical optimism about our fandom. We've had our hearts broken.
I try not to be like a battered fan and view everything that way. I consciously try not to let last year's sins affect this year's team and try to really separate. But I'm just kind of, my nature is kind of pragmatic, and I try to look at it analytically, and this is a
Right.
whole, and like I try not to inject it. But let me tell you something. I can come at you and say like, this is the problem with the Grizzlies. I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is good. They need this. I want this. Buddy, when that game tips off,
Oh,
we in the same boat, buddy.
we in the
Like,
same boat.
there is no chance we're losing. I'm all in every time.
Uh,
But just when I talk about it and I digest it, I try to be a little bit more analytical. That's all it is.
I like it. I like it. Shout out to all the
Outlaw.
shout out to Mr. Pookie, who misses Bo Outlaw scoring, and shout out to Michelangelo, who just is fresh to the Grizzlies bandwagon, who's been on the Isolo bandwagon
Let me
for
tell you,
years.
right now, as a Grizzlies fan, all aboard, brother. We are not at the point to where we can exclude bandwagon folks. Like I've always hated that. Like we are not the Lakers. We are not the Yankees. We are not the Dodgers. We're not the Cubs. We are not the Dallas Cowboys. You are welcome here, and you will not.
Absolutely.
You are accepting a burden by
I might-
joining this.
I
train.
might make fun of you. I might make fun of you for your insane Isolo godlike coaching takes, but you're welcome to join, and we love you.
I appreciate somebody with a little faith. Sometimes I wish I had more of it. So, listen, that's going to do it for tonight's episode of the Post-Game Bounce. Post-game show recapping the Grizzlies' loss to the Detroit Pistons and much, much more. The Grizzlies play again, I believe, Wednesday night. I should know this. I'll pull it up.
They play
Start of
Houston
a
on Wednesday.
Pretty brutal stretch here for the Grizzlies to start November. Yeah, Houston on Wednesday, Dallas on Friday, Oklahoma City on Sunday. And you'll catch post-game reaction here on this Bluff City Media channel every time. I will say, if you're still here, you obviously liked what you were hearing or were at least entertained. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. It helps us out tremendously. Subscribe to the channel. You'll see 3 shows daily on this network, along with a lot of weekly shows. And so check back in with us. Until next time, Kenny, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Good night.